Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, Counter-Spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve. Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Time to have a snicker or two as we drive down to Wistful Vista. And we check in at 79 Wistful Vista to be precise, see what's going on in the household of Fibber McGee and Molly. This episode of the show was from June 13th, 1939, as Fibber and Molly become advice columnists.
The Johnson Wax Program. The makers of Johnson's Wax and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat present Marion and Jim Jordan as Fibber McGee and Molly with Donald Novis, the Four Notes, and Billy Mills Orchestra. Are you in trouble? Does your girl wear an off-the-face hat when she should be wearing a catcher's mask? Do your beaten biscuits take a beating? Are you in the doghouse with no flea powder? Then all you need is a sympathetic ear and expert advice. Just write or visit Aunt Molly and Uncle Fibber, editors of the Advice to the World-Weary column of the Wistful Vista Gazette.
What was that?
A fanfare.
How many fans have we got?
Oh, several.
Well, that's fair.
And here, seated at opposite sides of a big desk in the sitting room of the Wistful Vista Gazette, we find a great pair to draw to, those two muddle mediators, Fibber McGee and Molly.
McGee, what do we know about advice to the world weary?
Oh, don't worry. What are we sitting in the sitting room for? All we got to do is sit here and look wise. You ever notice the expression on a stuffed owl?
Yes, but it didn't mean a thing.
What you mean?
It wasn't smart enough to keep from getting stuffed.
Well, shucks, I always says...
Advice to the world weary, Aunt Molly speaking. What was your trouble, sir? Oh, I see. No, I wouldn't actually forbid her to get her face lifted. Just tell her about the lady who was so full of paraffin that when her wandering boy didn't come home, she got lit and sat on the windowsill. Don't mention it. Goodbye.
Got lit and sat on the windowsill. Was that an actual case, Molly?
Well, who cares? As the three-cornered pants said to the kid, don't pin me down.
That's an interesting point right there, Molly. How can you expect a peaceful life when you get mixed up in a triangle the first time you get dressed?
Say, buddy, the advertising manager is worried. He says all the dames is wearing trousers and they can't sell any dresses.
Why, of course they can't, Bud.
This is the slack season.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, that reminds me, Molly. Buzz for the stenographer, will you? That second button there.
Heavenly days, you call that a buzzer?
No, but it's more efficient. This gal used to work in a hash joint with curb service.
Well, what kind of a darn fool idea have you got now?
Listen, sis, a little more respect when you speak to me.
Yes, sir. What kind of a darn fool idea have you got now, sir?
That's better.
Oh, much better. Do you always smoke in the office, dearie?
Yeah. My folks object to my smoking at home. Stand up, will you, Chief? I want to strike a match on your pants.
Huh? Oh, sure. Ow, not so hard. Say, listen, sis, I'm drawing a map for my business column showing the shipping centers of the world, and I need some more ink.
More ink? Why, you've got 8 different kinds right there in front of you.
I know, but I'm ready to put in Bombay, and I ain't got any India ink.
Oh.
Oh, dear. Run out and get some, will you, sis?
Okay, Chief. Say, can I have tomorrow off?
What for?
We're giving my sister a shower.
Oh, is she getting married?
No, she just needs a bath.
Well, I predict great things for that girl, and none of them good.
Just the same, Molly, that's what makes this job interesting. Meeting all kinds of people and hearing all their troubles.
Well, it's no novelty to me. Bringing me troubles is like telling Earl Sandy if he's a good boy, he can ride on the pony.
Just the same, it's a great business. Just think of the modern newspaper, Molly. Huge forests chopped down to make the paper, millions of bucks worth of mechanical devices, pictures flashed across the ocean, 20 pages of current history of the world rushed to your door by swift messenger.
Yes, go on.
10 hours later, you find it wrapped around the garbage.
Good day. Are you Aunt Molly and Uncle Fibber who advise people in all sorts of problems?
You betcha, Bud.
What seems to be the matter, sir?
You see before you a very desperate man.
Oh, dear.
Oh, well, take it easy, Bud. Remember the old saying, when you get to the end of your rope, throw it away and light another one. What's on your mind, Bud?
I am J. Bumble Busby, owner of the largest apiary in the state.
Well, imagine that, an apiary.
Well, that's very interesting, Bud. I used to raise apes myself. Very affectionate animals, too. Treated me just like one of the family. Well, I mind the time.
That's very good. Treat him like one, or is it? But you don't understand. An apiary is where we raise bees.
Oh.
I think one of them came in with me. Surely you've heard of Busby's honey, a wonderful product. But during the last 6 weeks, my sales have fallen off 83.5%. And why?
I don't know.
Because something has happened to the flavor. Somehow it's lost that old Busby tang.
Afraid we can't give you much advice, Busby, till we try a sample of your honey. Better bring us a couple of combs. Something we can get our teeth into.
I have a sample right here. Take a taste of my sample. But I warn you, it's a little revolting.
Here, I'll try it, sir.
Well, how's the Molly taste, honey? Or how does the honey taste, Molly?
Oh, terrible. But somehow it's familiar. It tastes a little something like the back of a Christmas seal.
Yes, I'd say a Christmas seal of about 1913.
That's quite a problem. Sounds like sabotage to me. I'll tell you what you better do, Busby. Better bring in one of your bees for an interview. One of your old and trusted employees.
Very well. Now, let me see. I'd better bring in number 1378. That'd be old Joe Hummer in the receiving room. Yeah. I'll tell the other workers I gave Joe the day off to go to the movies.
Oh, do they like movies?
Oh, yes. Bee pictures. Thank you. I'll be back very shortly.
Say, do you suppose he's worked his bees too hard, dearie? Maybe the honey's a little strained.
So is that, if you don't mind my saying so. But I got a hunch, Molly.
Well, heavenly days, Mrs. Wearybottom.
Oh, hi, Weary. Haven't seen you in a long, long time.
Oh, hello, folks. I heard you were running a column giving people advice, so I thought I'd come in and lay my troubles in your lap as long as you're kind of baggy at the knees anyway. What are you supposed to wear at a formal wedding?
Well, as Aunt Molly always says in her column, Weary, for a proper wedding, you got to have something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue.
Well, I guess that explains it then, because when my sister saw her future husband in his morning coat, she said that coat is certainly old, but the way you wear it is something new, so he borrowed something like $50 in blue. Say, do you mind if I step out on the fire escape for a breath of air?
Oh, I wouldn't do that if I was you, Weary. You see...
Well, what did you start to tell her, McGee?
Oh, nothing much. Just that there ain't any fire escape outside that window.
We're just getting started. June 13th, 1939. Fibber McGee and Molly here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Watch out for that first step. It's a Lulu. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Some more of Fibber McGee and Molly, June 13th, 1939.
Subscribers, or folks, that was Donald Novus, our car new Caruso, singing I Never Knew Heaven Could Speak.
Oh, and it was beautiful, Mr. Novus. I think I'll write you up in my column.
Gee, that'll be swell. And maybe if I studied dramatics, I could get more lines to read on this show.
Well, I don't see why not.
I'll be glad if you did, Don. Give me a chance to relax. I'm just a bundle of nerves working as hard as I do.
Well, why don't you learn to play, Rummy?
You better try that again, Mr. Novus.
Why don't you learn to play Rummy?
I ain't got time. It keeps me busy watching you shuffle the dialogue.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The trouble with him is he doesn't seem to recognize punctuation.
No, but punctuation seems to recognize him. Every time he walks into a sentence, all the commas start wagging their tails. I got to figure out what's the matter with the flavor of this honey, Molly.
Say, maybe we could ask Mr. Wilcox. He's an expert on wax.
Oh, but this is beeswax. All he knows is Jay's wax. Don't you get it, Molly? I said...
Ain't funny, McGee.
Oh. The best I could do till the door opens.
Say, Aunt Molly, am I in time to make the next edition?
With what, Mr. Wilcox?
Well, I want you to print a love letter in your column.
What's the matter, Harlow? One of your old flames give you the hot foot?
No, and I wouldn't ask you to print it if it didn't apply to a lot of people besides me.
Oh, well, what did you want us to say, Mr. Wilcox?
Well, something like this. Dear Liz, I'm terribly sorry about last night. When those hoodlums on the street corner started making wisecracks about you, I was just as angry as you were. But, Liz, dear, they were right.
They were, why, that's a fine way to talk.
Quiet, McGee.
Oh, okay.
Go on, Mr. Wilcox.
Well, after I'd taken you home, Liz, I realized I was a little ashamed of you myself. You did look dowdy. That old coat of yours looked like it had never been cleaned. But everything's all right now, Liz. I got some Johnson's Car New. That marvelous new preparation that cleans and polishes at the same time. Try it tonight, Liz, after you've had your bath. Rub it all over you.
Heavenly days.
And wipe it off with a soft cloth. And, baby, will you look gorgeous. It's wonderful stuff, Liz, but the best is none too good for a beautiful chassis like yours.
Oh, sure.
Now, let the boys on the corner crank wise. We'll show 'em, won't we, Liz? Off with the old love. On with the Car New. Just sign that H.W., Aunt Molly.
Well, now, I don't know, Mr. Wilcox. That's a pretty bold way to write to a girl in a newspaper column.
Who is this girl, Liz, Harlow? As if we didn't know.
Oh. It isn't a girl, it's my old second-hand Lizzie. And is she going to be beautiful tonight? Coming, Liz. So long, folks.
Well, I hope Lizzie likes the beauty treatment.
Oh, she will. Lizzie's are limousines. They're all sisters under the tin.
May I speak to Aunt Molly? Oh, how do you do, Mrs. McGee? And Mr. McGee?
Oh, how do you do, Mrs. Effington?
Hi, Uppy.
Well, good heavens, don't tell me that you're Aunt Molly and Uncle Fibber.
Yes, I are. I mean, we certainly am.
Well, that's splendid. Then possibly you can assist me. I wish to enter a complaint and to cancel my subscription.
Oh, well, we handle complaints, Uppy. What's the matter?
I demand a retraction of the insult in last Sunday's society section.
Retraction of what insult, Mrs. Upington?
Why, you printed a picture of my niece at her coming-out party, and the caption underneath it said, Miss Brenda Upington, the most beautiful dub of the season.
Oh.
That kind of tickled me. Them society gals are so snooty.
I beg your pardon?
What'd you do?
What did I do? Thank you so much for your help. I hope I haven't been wasting your time, too. Goodbye.
I wonder what she meant by that wasting our time, too.
I wouldn't know. Oh, look, McGee, here's an interesting letter. It's from an explorer.
An explorer? What's he say?
He's just discovered an island without a World's Fair on it.
Hello there, Johnny. Hello, daughter. Got an item for the paper. Who's in charge of the cute cracks from Cunning Kitty's column? My little boy got off a nifty this morning.
Well, how old is your little boy, Mr. Oldtimer?
8.
She says, how old is your little boy?
He'll be 62 in January. Come in, Rance. Rance, I want you to meet some friends of mine. Folks, my little boy, Rance.
How do you do, I'm sure.
Hi, Rancid.
My name's Ransom. Did you find out where the cute kitty's editor was, Papa?
Hey!
It's the fourth door down the hall.
You'll know him by his sourpuss expression and a loaded shotgun.
Run along and see him, Rance. I'll be there in a minute.
All right, Papa.
Fine-looking boy, Mr. Oldtimer, and only 62. Has he got his permanent teeth yet?
Nope. Get some tomorrow. Ransom's a good boy.
I'd like to see his little face light up when he goes for his first ride in a wheelchair.
That's pretty good, Johnny. But that ain't the way. Hey, Rance, that ain't the way. Rance, he said down the hall. Excuse me, folks, the kid's kind of fussed.
Well, the boy was certainly a block off the old splinter, wasn't he, McGee?
Yeah, I guess he sort of...
Oh, it's Mr. Busby, the beekeeper.
Oh, hi, Busby. Come in. Did you bring one of your bees in for an interview?
Yes, I did. I got him in this little matchbox here. Come on out, Joe.
My, an intelligent-looking little fella, isn't he?
Hi, Joe. You mind answering a few questions? That's the spirit. I'm trying to help your boss figure out why the honey you fellas make don't taste good. You got any ideas on the subject?
Any labor troubles in the hive? Or are you fellas just getting lazy? Well, hold it there now. Watch your language there, me boy, or me bee. You know we're on the air.
Well, your employees seem to have the right spirit, Busby. I'll work this out from another angle. Drop in again a little later, Busby.
Very well.
And, Mr. Hummer, next time you come to town, give us a buzz.
Good day, folks. I'm depending on you.
An intelligent little insect, wasn't he, Molly?
Yes, and so was the bee.
Say, Molly, I think I got it all figured out.
What?
What's the matter with Busby's honey? Hey, have we got a city map here?
Well, there's one on the wall there, McGee, but I don't think it's very up to date.
What's the matter with it?
It shows 4 Indian teepees at 14th and Oak.
Oh, don't matter anyway. I can find out what I want to know in the classified directory.
But what is it, McGee? My goodness, the man will be ruined if he doesn't find out soon.
Well, as the racehorse said when he come home after dark, there may be somebody ahead of me, but I think I'm on the right track.
Ah, there, lowercase. Good day to you, my dear. Have a little personal item I'd like to run in your column concerning myself and a certain Abigail Upington.
What, Mrs. Uppington?
None other, my dear, none other. Our engagement has been terminated. Our plans for the altar have been altered. And our turtle doves have turned turtle. Oh, yeah.
So, the engagement's off, eh, Boomer? Well, I'm glad to hear it.
Oh, what was the matter, Mr. Boomer? Were you incompatible?
Slightly, yes. Slightly incompatible. But only up to the point where we hated the sight of each other. Probably best for all concerned.
Yeah, it certainly is best for Uppy, Boomer. I warned her you were a rattlesnake, so you better get your diamond back. Wow.
Careful there, single feature. You're trifling with the temper of a broken-hearted man. Just print this little item and I shall withdraw from the community and seek solace in some distant wilderness.
McGee, do you detect the delicate fragrance of banana oil?
Place reeks with it. Well, give me the item, Boomer, and I'll be glad to print it.
Ah, yes, the item. Have it right here somewhere. I'll put that item. Item, diddum, item. Here's a postcard from the hostess of a party I attended recently. Said all the guests considered me quite a card. Or does that say cad? Bad light in here.
Come on, Boomer, give us the item. We're awfully busy today.
Quiet, by Cuthbert. Coming right up. Now let me see where I put that item. Here's the sheriff's badge. Took it off a sleeping deputy in Wyoming. Ah, yes, it was all quiet on his western front. Well, what's this? An invitation to share a rabbit dinner with an old friend. Must send my regrets. I'm in no mood to split hairs. beautiful wristwatch I got from an intoxicated Italian. Odds budkins, was that Venetian blind? Yes, indeed. Memorandum of a poker game with some hand-picked suckers. Fish and chips. Solid silver ashtray. Don't touch it, it's hot. A check for short beer. Well, imagine that, no item.
Dear, oh dear.
I wonder where Horatio K. Boomer always lost this stuff. You gotta wonder. June 13th, 1939, Fibber McGee and Molly here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. We'll hear the conclusion and another yours truly Johnny Dollar story following these messages from your favorite radio station. Just going to take a minute here to tell you about the big savings going on now, the clearance sale at mypillow.com. And you know, I've talked about how in my office I have a pair of my slippers, and they're really comfortable, and they're on clearance right now. The mypillow.com slippers, $25 a pair, limit 10. And I would buy 3 or 4 more pairs. Unfortunately, they're out of my size. They also have sheets, pillowcases, clothing items, all on special right now. Go to mypillow.com, click on the clearance tab at the top of the page, use my promo code Wyatt, or call 1-800-928-4715. Limited sizes remaining in the MyPillow slippers, limited colors on other items. mypillow.com, clearance tab, promo code Wyatt, 1-800-928-4715. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the conclusion of Fibber McGee and Molly from June 13th, 1939, the Advice Columnists.
Wonder what I could have done with it. I must have dropped it while I was having my picture taken. Better rush back to the police station, to the photographers, to see if I can find it. Good day, second goal.
That guy's so two-faced he only has to shave every other day. Why, he's such a fake. Fake. Hey, Molly, I got it.
You got what, Miss?
I know what's the matter with the honey. You see where Busby's bee farm is located?
Yes.
Well, don't you see?
Oh, wait a minute, McGee. Here's Mr. Busby now.
Oh, hi, Busby. You're just in time. I know what makes your honey taste so funny.
My goodness, tell me quick. What is it? Can we do anything about it?
Oh, it's very simple, Bud. All you got to do is move your bee farm to some other locality.
What? Move my bee farm?
Why, McGee?
Why, remember what you said that honey tasted like, Molly? Like the back of a Christmas seal? Well, that's just what it was.
What?
Glue.
Why?
Where?
What?
I say, where would my bees get glue?
Well, take a look at this map, Bud. Your bee farm is right next to an artificial flower factory.
Ooh.
Fibber and Molly will be back in just a moment. And now, may I say this? It's grand to be able to keep all the windows and doors open and let the summer breezes blow through the house. It's unfortunate, though, that these welcome breezes bring a lot of dust and dirt into your rooms. If you're wise, you'll protect every floor, your kitchen linoleum and your outdoor porch floors, too, with Johnson's self-polishing Glow Coat. Dirt simply cannot cling to the bright Glow Coat polish. A few whisks with a dry duster, and your floors will be entirely free from dust. Glow Coat forms a protective shield that shuts out ugly stains, saves the floor surface from scuff marks and wear. Yes, when your floors are protected with a beautiful Glow Coat polish, you can forget all about hot, tiresome floor scrubbing. You'll keep cooler, you'll have more time for rest, and your home will be more attractive to your friends. Order Glow Coat tomorrow. GLO-COAT. Johnson Self-Polishing Glow Coat. The dependable polish that never streaks or smears. The easy-to-use polish that shines without rubbing or buffing.
Folks, next week we're going to present... What's the matter, Molly?
Oh, McGee, I'm so glad this newspaper show is over.
Oh, gee, was it that bad?
No, but it brought back memories. When I was a girl, I worked on the Peoria transcript.
Oh, why, Molly, you never told me that. What kind of work did you do?
I was a sob sister.
Good night.
Good night, all.
This is Harlow Wilcox, speaking for the makers of Johnson's Wax and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat at Racine, Wisconsin, inviting you to be with us again next Tuesday night. Good night.
By the way, you notice Busby was played by Harold Perry before he took on the full-time role of the great Gildersleeve. From June 13th, 1939, Fibber McGee and Molly on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, Part 3 of the 5-part Yours Truly Johnny Dollar story, The Laughing Matter, as it was originally broadcast June 13th, 1936.
From Hollywood, it's time now for...
Johnny Dollar.
Capitan de Vidro Parral, senor, of the Ensenada Police.
Oh, hi, Parral. I tried to call you a few minutes ago. We've had a shooting out here at the hotel.
And somebody, she's dead,
No, nobody's dead. The bullet missed. Somebody fired a shot from the terrace into one of the rooms.
I am flush with the red light, senor. I make the siren. I'm come like the wind.
Good. But will you do me one thing before you blow up a storm?
Mande usted?
There's a man missing from his room here, a friend of the man who was shot at. He must be around town somewhere.
Pues sí.
He's an Americano, about 45, name's Frank Maltz.
Frank Maltz. Bueno, we'll find him. I'm going to make one APC T.
B, you mean, APB.
Sí, APB, like on radio in Los Estados.
All right, hop to it, Parral.
Sí, senor. Senor, what it is, this APB?
Tonight and every weekday night, Bob Bailey in the transcribed adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. From Special Investigator Johnny Dollar, location Ensenada, Mexico. To the Home Office, Union States Casualty Company, Hartford, Connecticut. Assignment, The Laughing Matter. Expense account continued. Item 6, $1, a pot of coffee from the hotel kitchen, special. It was 1 a.m. I'd been half asleep when the shot was fired, and I hoped the coffee would help get me at least half awake. I hadn't expected it to happen that way, and neither had good old lovable Charlie Burton, America's favorite TV comic, according to his press agents. Charlie had called it a joke, but he wasn't laughing now, and neither was I. Charlie's life was insured for $500,000, payable to his sponsor.
Where he is, senor, this man who was get shot?
He didn't get shot, Parral. He got shot at.
Pues sí, it's what I wish to say, but the tongue is no make English too good.
Well, you're doing fine. The manager gave Bert another room, inside, away from the terrace here. He's probably got the door locked and the furniture piled in front of it.
Mande?
I mean, he's scared. Very scared. Comprende?
Oh, sí. Él tiene mucho miedo.
Yeah, I guess so. Now, according to his story, he was asleep, here on this side of the bed. Someone fired the shot from outside on the terrace. It broke the window there. And the bullet lodged here in the bed, about 6 inches above Burton's head, where he was lying on the pillow.
Sí, yo puedo verlo. And then he is wake up quick. He is no see nobody, senor? Is no hears nobody?
No, he was too scared to know. He jumped out of bed, ran down the inside corridor, and banged on my door. I searched the terrace right away and didn't find a thing.
And these other people which are work for him to make the television, they are also having room which are close to this?
Parral, your tongue may not make the English too good, but there's nothing wrong with your head.
Mande usted?
I mean, you're okay, amigo. You're a good cop.
Gracias, senor.
Yes, any one of them could have fired that shot.
And they are big which ones, these people?
Well, there's Frank Maltz. He's the producer of the Charlie Burton show. He's the one who was missing from his room, the one I asked you to locate.
I see, you say.
Then there's Gloria Dale. She's the feminine star of the show. She's in the third room down.
She is in the room of her when the shoot was fired?
Yeah, she'd gone to bed. I had to beat on the door to wake her. She hadn't even heard the shot. She'd been pretty upset. She'd been drinking earlier.
See? It's always the same. These Americanas ladies which have come to Ensenada, always they drink too much.
You may be right. Anyway, the third member of the group is Al Schreiber, second room down. He's an actor, too.
And where he is when these things happen?
In bed, so he says. The shot woke him up, and he came out into the corridor while Burton was banging on my door.
And these are all, senor?
Yep, that's the bunch.
Which one you think is not like this Charlie?
Every single one of them hates him. Then there's another possibility, too. That girl I asked you to check on earlier, the maid who works here at the hotel.
You see, la señora Evelina Morales. Pues we're looking, but we are not find her yet.
Oh?
Ella no está en casa. She are no at her house, señor.
Oh, I see.
Ni el marido tampoco es. Also, the, how you say, her husband is gone.
Oh, then she is married.
Pues sí, señor.
You're still looking for her, aren't you?
Pues sí, señor. No tenga cuidado. It's no big town, Ensenada. We are find her too soon now. I think es por mí, yo creo. I am tell the manager I was here. La policía acá. Sí, capitán de vidro Paral. ¿Dónde? Bien, sí. Muy bien. Bien, adiós. This man you are say have disappeared, señor.
Frank Maltz?
He was now be found.
Where is he?
Es un cantina, a nightclub. It's called the 21.
21. Where is it? In town somewhere?
You see, it is the, how you say, senor, it's one big hot spot.
Item 7, $1, taxi into town. Peral stayed at the hotel to talk to Charlie Burton and the others. I thought it might do some good, at least by keeping them off balance. Regardless of his knowledge of English, Peral was a smart lad, and his eyes never missed a thing. The 21 may have been a hot spot earlier, but at this time of night it was almost deserted. There were a few weary B-girls drowsing at the bar, a scant handful of last-ditch patrons, and Frank Maltz, alone at a table, glowing with mellow geniality and bottled health.
Well, now, another night owl with insomnia and a taste for dives. Pull up a chair, Johnny.
Thanks. Been here long?
Forever.
Oh.
At least for years and years. I am part of the place, my boy. These worm-eaten rafters, the crumbling walls, this musty aroma of ancient tequila that was spilt on these tiles long before you were even born.
I see.
You see, the place was built by the conquistadores, and I dropped in the very next day. I've been here ever since.
Maltz, look, chum.
Now, speak softly, softly, friend. This is hallowed ground. This is the meeting place. This is the crossroads, you see, for two separate worlds. The tourists come traipsing down from Beach Boulevard up there. They call it slumming. And the townsfolk come up from Gastelum and Balboa, and they all meet here. And they drink tequila, and then they dance the fandango. Hey, amigo, how about playing a fandango? No, he can't hear you, because he is dead. We are all dead here, Johnny.
You know something, Maltz? You're not nearly as plastered as you're pretending to be.
I know that, Johnny.
Have you been here all evening? Here in the 21?
How do you like that name, 21? It means a 21, you know.
Yeah, I know. Have you been here in the 21 all evening?
Oh, no. I've been in all of them. I just ended up here. Ever see a better place to end up, Johnny?
Where were you around 12:40 tonight?
What? What are you driving at?
Somebody took a shot at Charlie Burton tonight.
Ooh, I got my fingers crossed, did they?
No, they didn't hit him.
Well, maybe they'll have another chance.
Not if I can prevent it.
Now, that's why you were checking times on me, huh? You think I maybe made a clay pigeon out of that rat.
Did you?
Johnny, I left the hotel at 10 o'clock. I've been a lot of places since, but not back there. I don't know where I was at 12:40. Maybe some bartender around town will know. I have seen them all tonight, one time or another.
This lush stuff seems to be a habit with all of you, including Gloria.
Well, stick around Burton a month. You'll know why.
So, why do you stick around him?
Me, personally, there's a couple of reasons, I guess. I'm trying to help somebody else, for one thing. Well, myself at the same time, of course.
Meaning?
Al Schreiber. The kid is great, Johnny. He really is. And it'll be his show next year, if we can hang on. And for the same sponsor.
With you producing?
Well, that's right. They're fed up with Charlie Burton, and they've got reason to be. He's a phony name, Johnny, nothing else. It's a fake. It's a build-up. They got to spend more on press relations now than it costs to produce the show.
Then with Charlie out of it, you and Al would be in. Is that the way it stacks up?
That's right.
You said you had a couple of reasons for staying on.
No, forget it. The second one is not important. It's a sob story.
Well, it won't be the first one I've heard tonight.
I'm married, you see, Johnny. 23 years now. And for the last 8, my wife has been completely paralyzed. Utterly helpless. She's in a sanitarium upstate. She has to have special care. Special treatments, and it costs $350 a week, 52 weeks a year. So I stay on with Burton, and I go on hating him. And whenever the hate gets too bad, I go up and see her. Well, she doesn't know me. She doesn't know anyone. She just lies there and breathes. But I look at her, and I remember how she was, and how I loved her. I still love her, Johnny. So that's the way it is.
I left him there in the cantina with his love and his hate and walked out into the street, empty and silent under the wheeling stars in the soft, dark night. A lone dog sidled past, gray and gaunt, intent on some mission of his own, and faded into the shadows. And the town slept, its own loves and hates put aside until morning. Quiet town. Then the emptiness was filled with sound, and a flashing red light slashed the darkness. Parral of the Ensenada Police. He said the maid from the hotel, Valena Morales, had come home. One of his sergeants was waiting there with her.
Buenas noches, senora.
Buenas noches.
The tiny room was lit by a flickering oil lamp, and a candle burned beneath a crucifix on the wall above the bed. Cement floor and adobe walls, bare and clean, like the cell of a nun in a convent.
¿Y su hombre? ¿En dónde está él?
Yo no sé.
She was young, pretty,
¿Qué le importa?
and at the moment very
¿Estabas
frightened.
tú más temprano?
En la casa de una amiga. ¿Por qué me preguntas?
Espérate, señora. Hace poco un trato a matarle a un señor. Allá en el Hotel Balboa.
¿Qué dices? ¿Cuál señor?
Un americano. El señor Carlos Burton.
Ay, de mí. ¿Qué tengo yo que hacer?
She talked,
Ya no hay
half
remedio.
crying, and
¿Quién
Parral
sabe qué vamos a
translated.
hacer ahorita?
Charlie Burton,
Y ahora no
old
hay
lovable
remedio.
Charlie, had been bothering her, annoying her at the hotel.
Que él no más hablaba.
She tried to avoid him, but had made the mistake of telling her husband. He'd been furious and had come to the hotel earlier in the evening. That's when I'd seen the two of them arguing on the terrace. She hadn't seen him since.
So, Senor Dollar, what is it you think?
I think you'd better find a husband, and find him quick.
Now, here's our star to tell you about tomorrow's intriguing episode of this week's story.
Tomorrow, Death tries once more, and this time doesn't miss. But Death, you know, is blind. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, is transcribed in Hollywood. Written by Les Crutchfield, it is produced and directed by Jack Johnstone. Be sure to join us tomorrow night, same time and station, for the next exciting episode of Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Roy Rowan speaking.
Yeah, it's sounding really, really ugly. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, from June 13th, 1956, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. May I thank you so much for making us a part of your day. Would you thank this radio station and support their advertisers? It is their kindness and courtesy that allow us to be with you each and every time we roll around here on your favorite radio station. Now, if you miss a day, you do not have to miss a single episode. All of our shows are available via podcast, and you can find a link at classicradio.stream. You can stream them there on the page at classicradio.stream. You can also find a list of sites where our shows are available per podcast. You can also find our social media links. You can also learn how to build a classic radio collection of your own. That's always a good thing to have. And you can also buy me a coffee. Now, the buy me a coffee money goes toward maintaining our distribution channels and helping us acquire additional classic radio collections. That's classicradio.stream. Classicradio.stream. Have yourself a great day, won't you please? Tell all your friends the greatest radio shows of all time are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, right here on your favorite radio station.